Chris Addison. I will be shuffling and shepherding you through three magnificent acts this evening. The weekend starts here. No, it doesn't. It's a Thursday evening. The weekend really doesn't start here. Well, why not? The economy's down the pan. There's no harm taking Friday off. You might as well. You can't do any more damage. The weekend. So I don't know what you're planning to do with your weekend. There are two choices, as I see it. There's religion. I brought myself up Anglican, really. And my father's family were Viennese Jews who escaped the Nazis and came to this country. And my mother's family were Lancastrian Anglicans, which makes me an Anglican Jew. That's Jewish Anglican, really. Which means I do believe I was personally chosen by God, but I don't like to make a fuss about it. I always wished that I was Catholic, because the Catholic Church is very show-busy. You know, I think it's very hello-goddy kind of aspect to the Catholics, where the Anglican Church is just much more Jesus, you know, kind of nodding to God in the corridor as we pass. But the Catholic Church is basically a showbiz religion. That's why they let their church do things that they shouldn't really let it do. Like, you know, like there's a town in Spain where they throw a donkey off a church at Easter. You know this? So we throw the donkey off the church to commemorate the time that Jesus... Yes? Oh. No reason for them to do it. But every town in Spain has some bizarre animal-harming ceremony. It's like they're trying to outdo each other. It's like Pamplona started it by going, OK, we run the bulls through the streets, then we kill him in the ring, yeah? We're going to throw a donkey off a church. Yeah? We're going to fire a pig at the cliff. Yeah? We're going to get a giraffe, put him in a dress, put him on roller skates, push him down a hill, yeah? We're going to get elephant blowing his trunk till he bursts. Peculiarly Latin way of celebrating Eastertide. You know, never get that in the Church of England. We're far too diffident for that. There'd just be a terrified-looking vicar standing at the top of the church tower going, "All right, Jeremy, hold the top haul in extremely steady. I'm lowering the gerbil down now." Your second option is DIY. Essentially, that's the second way you can go, right? That's the modern religion. Who's going to do DIY? No, we're battening down the hatches. There's a credit crunch on. We can't even afford to mess it up ourselves. People think DIY, it makes us tremendously sophisticated, but DIY is really just an animal characteristic writ large. That's all it is. It's just simple territorialism. All animals are territorial, right? You know this. All animals mark their territory in different ways. So, for example, cats mark their territory by weeing all over it, which seems to be cutting off your nose to spite your face. So, all this is mine! And I'm not sure that I want it now. To be absolutely honest, it smells of wee. Why did I not just paint a sign? Murray, get a cloth. Right, there's cats. We mark our territory with DIY. That's why the first thing you do when you move into a new house is you take the idiot's wallpaper down and you put yours up, right? You're marking your territory. Now, here's a little tip for you. If you want to be extraterritorial next time you do this, take the idiot's wallpaper down. Before you put yours up, go to B&Q or Homebase or an independent DIY retailer of your choice. Buy a tin of blood red paint. Take it home and write on the wall with the paint, "I will kill again." Wait for it to dry and then put your wallpaper up. Now, you never get to see the punchline of that little practical joke, but you do get a lovely warm feeling in about 5 years' time when you hand the keys over. That is, that's a nice moment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your first act for the evening, Gareth Richards!
Hello, my name is Gareth. Gareth is an ancient Welsh name that means man with rubbish name. Welcome to the show. I've come from Bournemouth to be here today. Thank you. That was overwhelming. I live with my wife in Bournemouth. We've been married for 7 years, so I married quite young. People say to me, "Was she pregnant? Hey, was she pregnant?" And I go, "No," as it turned out. Nasty shock and lovely surprise. That was all at the same time. So here we are. Have we got married people in? 3. We got single people in? 3. They're happier. I travel a lot being a comedian. When I come to London, usually I get the coach. Who gets the coach? Yeah. 2 people. There's one coach driver who always does the trip from Bournemouth to London Victoria, and he always says the same thing when you arrive. They give these people microphones. These people shouldn't have microphones. Says, please be careful, ladies and gentlemen. As you get off the coach, because it would be a shame to have travelled all this way and then to be killed in an accident. And I always like to think if I died at this point in the journey, people would have more to say about it than, oh, and he just travelled all that way. What a terrible waste of a coach ticket. I get the train. Who gets the train? Yes. Oh, the train's good nowadays. It's got plug sockets. It's like living in the future. And they have a little sign to help us because they know if they don't give us some instruction, it will freak us out. And it says laptops and mobile phones only. And I'm always like, oh, and I've brought my ironing. When was I supposed to get this done, eh? I'll get some done before the man gets here. Tell me if he's coming. Oh, this is still a bit damp. Do you mind if I plug my tumble dryer in there? Sorry, excuse me. I like DVDs. The piracy warnings are good. Piracy is a crime. Please do not pirate this DVD and give it to your friends, even though this seems like a really good idea. Please do not do that. It's stealing. You wouldn't steal a handbag. And I always think, no, I wouldn't. But what if I built a machine that could duplicate handbags? Copied a handbag, then gave one to all my mates. Would that be wrong? I don't think so. Then, right, I could steal a handbag, just copy it and give it back. They'd be delighted. They'd be like, oh, thank you, I thought I'd lost that. No problem at all. If you lose it again, get in touch with me. I've got a backup. I went to look around a house the other day. It was covered in mirrors. Mirrors everywhere. Mirrors, mirrors, mirrors. I thought I could see myself living here. Thank you. Wooden spoons are handy because you can use wooden spoons to prepare food. Or if you haven't got time for that, just write a number on one, go into a pub and say, where's my dinner? I ordered hours ago. The government want to get new nuclear weapons. I don't think they should be allowed to get new ones until they've used the ones they've got. The nuclear weapons have a best before date. I think, like everything else, they're best before they've gone off. I live near my parents in Bournemouth, and parents are embarrassing. I went sat-nav shopping with my dad the other day, and there's 3 general different types of sat-nav you can get. You can get a Great Britain sat-nav, you can get Great Britain and Europe, or you can get Great Britain, Europe and America. My dad goes, oh, let's get that one, just in case. How lost are you going to have to be in an unplanned way for that one to need to kick in? Oh, we're driving to Birmingham. We've been driving for 30 hours. We should never have taken that ferry. And there's reasons why people become a comedian. There's something gone wrong somewhere in your life, and it's usually to do with your parents. One of these moments for me is I was 10 years old, and it was bath time, and my mum and my auntie were there. And I start to get changed and throw them a look as if to say, go away now. And my mum says to my auntie, oh, come on, Tracy, we should go now. He doesn't like me to see him get changed anymore. Now he's grown up a little bit. Let's give him his privacy. My auntie goes, oh, why? Has it grown? And my mum said, nah. No. Part of me died right then, ladies and gentlemen. Well, my news at the moment is my wife and I in June are going to have a baby. Thank you. Most of you realise that was supposed to be good news. A couple of people like, is he allowed to breed? Why is this happening? But I've got to change some of my attitudes now to children. I've always been suspicious of babies. You know, some people worry about asylum seekers and immigrants, things like that. I don't worry about that. I think, what about babies? Hey, you know, they come here, they don't speak the language. Start claiming benefits as soon as they get here. They won't wear the same clothes or eat the same food as us, so they have to have special shops. Also, we let as many of them in here as they want. As soon as we try and get where they came from, very strict border controls in that direction. Thank you very much. It's been lots of fun. I've been Gareth Richards. See you later. Goodbye.
Gareth Richards! I was wrong. 3 things. There are 3 things you can do on a Sunday, right? Time Team. You've all seen it. Don't for a second pretend that you haven't. But it's an astonishing programme, incredibly popular, but lies, it's all lies. They're making it up, that wacky brummie with the big hair and those jumpers, holding up a nodular terracotta saying, well, this town is very clearly a segment of milk jug handle that would have been owned by a heavy woman called Brenda, with a hair lip and a problem saying the word Gillingham. Liar! You're a lie, you're making it up. The only thing that archaeology can tell us with 100% certainty about ancient civilizations is they were all skeletons who lived underground. The rest of it is made up. This is our opportunity to put them off the scent, right? We'll make a pact. We'll all agree to be buried in the same bizarre manner. So that 900 years from now, there'll be archaeologists digging us up going, well, I can't understand it, Phil. Here's another one buried the same. Arse in the air, surrounded by 8 toasters. And they'll show them. Those damn future archaeologists. So, would you please welcome your next act, Mr. Dan Antopolski!
How you doing? Pretty good? Do you ever get a song stuck in your head? I've got It's Raining Men stuck in my head at the moment. And it's just so moronic. I mean, it's not even a good solution to female loneliness. Because, for a start, the men will be killed on impact. And even before then, it's hard to look poised yet approachable as you scream through the clouds at terminal velocity. Unless this is your cup of tea. Ah! Oh, I like him. Oh. But at least it's knocked out the last one that got stuck there. The last broken record was Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry. It's a nice enough song, sweet song. But it's just, I don't know what it means, No Woman, No Cry. Does it mean there are no women who do not cry, or all women cry? Or does it mean just because you've got no woman, because you woke up this morning and your baby was gone, you shouldn't cry, you should get on with your life, positive, you know? It's not clear, is it? Bob seems to be giving us 2 clauses, no woman and no cry, but not only has he failed to explicate the relation between the clauses, causal, temporal, he hasn't even fleshed out the arguments of the predicates within each clause. Lazy. I was away from comedy for a couple of years. I had a couple of kids, that's what I'm doing. And they're very nice, they're lovely. Well, one of them. It's a change of life, obviously, you know, and for them as well. You know, it's 100% from no life to a life. It's quite a big change. As for dads, it's more the other way round. It's weird. You can't really explain to people who don't have kids what a kid is like. You just have to sort of give them metaphor, you know, something, a comparison. And raising a kid is like helping a drunk friend sober up. Come on, try and walk. There you go. Hey, that's it. Doing well. Oh, better out than in. Clean it up later. I can't understand. You're all slurred. And they hate it when you remind them about it later. The key thing, of course, with child raising is discipline. I have a 1-year-old. I'm right in there. Get upstairs, get your pyjamas on, and clean your tooth. What's your name, sir, with the glasses? Nice to meet you. Yeah? Yes, you. Acknowledge your own existence and respond. CJ, what are you, his minder? Occasionally. Now, the, Sorry, I came down a little hard there. I panicked. Tell me, CJ, do you like freedom? How do you feel about freedom? Pro? No one ever answers no to that question, hence the war. Yeah. Politicians know about these words, this sort of political sorcery. They say words like free to us, and we're happy, we're malleable, we can't control our reflexive response. It's a word like birthday, 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 birthday. A smile breaks over the human face. You see, you can't resist it. But free is the big one, and advertisers stick free on products whenever they can. It draws the eye. You see the word free out of the corner of your eye, at the back of your head, you think, something for nothing. A present for me. It pulls you over. I bought something the other day because it was gluten-free. Now, I don't happen to know what gluten is. It sure sounded like good news. And I've been watching these Disney movies with my kids, and I thought I half remembered that gluten was one of those little vole creatures. I had a little movie in my mind, emotionally. So, and to celebrate, I bought the soy sauce. I didn't need it. I've got 2 bottles at home already, CJ. One's about half full, one's about 2/3 full. Anyway, the other free thing that's not really free is free-range chicken, which I buy now. Not only is that not free, that's £9. That's pretty much the opposite of free. I don't care how rich you are. It's like a mini ISA. It's either that or the 3rd child. Comedians often get confronted with the stereotype people have of us that we're always on. You've heard this phrase. We wake up in the morning, joke, joke, jokety joke, step on stage, jokety joke, 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 step off stage, joke, 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 off into the night. And of course, that's a ridiculous cliche. The truth is, we're crying. But I find myself guilty of the same romantic simplicity when I think about a rapper. Because what is a rapper? A rapper is someone who has learned how to speak in rhyming couplets. And I think, well, once you've developed this skill, why would you ever talk any other way? It's just so pleasing. Your whole life could be a Dr. Seuss book. If I were a rapper, I would rap all day and all night. And if my neighbours complained, I would give them a fright. I'm going to perform a rap for you. Don't worry, it's not as bad as you think. I hope you all enjoy it. Are you all up for this? All right. Now, this is me imagining myself in a kitchen, having an everyday chat with a friend, looking for opportunities to get into my rhymes. Let's take it away. Yeah.
Are you hungry?
Hungry? Yeah, I could eat something, yeah.
What do you fancy?
I want a sandwich. Yeah, I want a sandwich. Want an exciting one and not a bland which. Don't want a thin one made with ham which sticks in my teeth or a raspberry jam squidge. I want a sandwich. Want a double-decker, triple-decker. Want a mayonnaise shirt specker. I want to love it more than my wife. Gonna call it the home wrecker. A sandwich can be more than it seems. You can have it in your car, in your face, in your dreams, in the office, on the beach, on the train, on the rocks. Eat it on a picnic with Ultravox. Well, have you ever had a picnic with Ultravox? Because when you have a picnic with Ultravox, you have to hand-midge your his sandwich, or he'll blubber like a little man bitch. But Gareth was grandstanding. Does this have organic lamb in? Meh, 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 meh. Ah, shut up, midge, and eat your sandwich. Yeah. Never go on a picnic with Ultravox. That's my message. Don't be afraid of this knife fight brandish. Gonna need a napkin and not a bandage. Although I know I have you at a disadvantage, 'cause you're hungry and I got the makings of a sandwich. That's what I said. Bread, filling, bread. Well, let me hear you, BBC. That's the structure of a sandwich. Bread, filling, bread. It's classical, unimprovable. Bread, filling, bread. Oh, yeah. Well, am I serious? Do the Archers live in Ambridge? Is Java an application-oriented programming language? No, it's object-oriented. Oh, but just what is a sandwich? Cheese on toast is not a sandwich. Croque monsieur is not a sandwich. Natasha Kaplinsky's not a sandwich. Peanut butter is not a sandwich. Actually, that one is quite a famous sandwich. In the future, you will be able to download a sandwich if you have the download code and the bandwidth. 24 kbps, Marmite and cucumber. Materialise on my mouse map.
So, do you want the sandwich?
Oh, yeah, I would actually quite like that sandwich. Ah, thanks. Delicious. Is that capers? No, I thought so. Long, thanks for this. What's that? Yeah, it's quite a long fade out, yeah. Thank you very much, thank you.
Antopolski! What a silly man. And so we press on. On we press. You ready for your next act? Of course you are, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the wonderful Zoe Lyons!
Hello! Very nice to be here. I read some brilliant news this week in the newspaper, not a free one, so it's a proper newspaper. I read some brilliant news. Apparently, the government are predicting that this year we are going to have middle-class riots as a result of the recession and house prices dropping. I can't wait. That's going to be absolutely fantastic, isn't it? The sound of Ugg boots thundering through Battersea Park. Dum-da-dum-da-dum, dum-da-dum. What are we? We are livid. What do we want? Change, please. Sorry, thanks for asking. Sorry to be a bother. When do we wanted after the Archers but before supper. Thanks so much. I just love the idea of middle-class riots. It made me chortle the image of middle-class hooligans throwing terra masalata at riot police, trying to protect themselves with large shields of pita bread. Very, very well. That's lunch sorted. If they start throwing chorizo, we'll have dinner as well. It's fantastic. French, they riot at anything. I don't even use my car horn over here because I think it's too aggressive. It's true, isn't it? I think it's about time that the British brought out a car horn that was appropriate for British cars. Because I've always find if I it just sounds slightly too aggressive. I just want the one that goes, excuse me, sorry, it's just the lights have changed. Sorry, thanks so much. No, it's just got the green, thank you, super. Let's move along. You know. Lots of things don't make sense to me. I had lunch with a friend today. She's a vegetarian. I don't mind vegetarians. But the thing that really winds me up about vegetarians is vegetarians that try to squash their vegetarian food into meat-based products. Do you know those ones? The veggie burgers, the veggie bangers. I don't get that at all. I just think if you're so anti-meat, why do you want it to look like a chop? If you don't want our meat, you can't have our shapes. Sorry. You get your own shapes. Going into the kitchen going, oh, look at this, Barbara, it's hilarious. Look what I've made of this, it's hilarious. Look at this beef sprout. Brilliant. Oh, pork pea. That's amazing. I read something very disturbing recently. Apparently, if we want to save the planet, we'll all have to become vegetarian. Are you aware of this? The science behind this? You're nodding there, madam, in the front row. Yes, apparently there are too many cows and sheep on the planet, all farting. And they're releasing methane into the environment, and it's killing us slowly, so we'll have to stop eating cows and sheep. Or... as a little woman shouted out from the back of a room in Glasgow at a gig I did recently, she said, we'll all have to start eating kangaroo. I said, I'm sorry. She said, kangaroos don't fart. I looked it up. She's absolutely right. Kangaroos don't fart. But what a piece of knowledge to carry around with you, eh? What's the longest river in the world? I couldn't tell you that, but no, kangaroos don't suffer from flatulence, you know. I went abroad last week. I flew abroad, and budget airline, because that's how my life rolls. And I got on this plane, and I noticed there's no row 13 on this plane. And I asked the air host, I said, why is there no row 13 on this plane? She said, it's because nervous flyers. Mind you, we'd all paid £5 to fly on this plane. It has to be said. Your luck had sort of run out when we made the booking. I think that was quite obvious. I think even the pilot was slightly nervous. He was in the cockpit like that going, oh, please let me land this thing one more time. I haven't a clue what I'm doing up here. I really don't. I'm pushing buttons and I'm pulling knobs, but I haven't a clue. Please, listen, if you let me land it this afternoon, I promise I will read the manual this evening. Please. It makes no difference, does it, when you sit on a plane journey, does it, when you're travelling? You know, if they go down, we all go down. That's usually how it works, isn't it? I personally have never been on a plane journey before, quite merrily at 33,000 feet with a large gin and tonic and a packet of peanuts, and all of a sudden row 13 seats 8F has dropped through the fuselage. And everybody else has carried on quite merrily. I've never seen that before. People in row 12 turning around going, oh my, glad I wasn't sat there, aren't you? That was lucky. People in 14 going, look at that leg room, brilliant. Swing the legs out. Swing the legs out. Didn't pay for that. That is lovely. There you go. The Pope says many things that I don't understand as well. I don't know whether you agree with me on this. Apparently this year he said he was worried about the blurring of genders, the blurring between the roles of women and men. And I was just watching him as he was saying this, and my only thought was, nice dress, Pope. My mother would kill to see me just once in an outfit like that. The little red shoes as well. I love the little red shoes, don't you? They just set off the outfit brilliantly. I just looked at them and thought, you don't look like a friend of Dorothy. You are Dorothy. And there's no place like Rome. There's no place like Rome. I do struggle sometimes with the fashion aspect of my life. I got an invitation to a party recently. It said dress to kill. I turned up in a balaclava and black leather gloves. I got it all... Do you ever have those ugly days where you just feel really, you know, I walked into a shop the other day and have you ever done this? I caught sight of myself on the CCTV monitor as I walked into the shop. And I looked up and I thought, look at the state of that. Good Lord. And then I had this dreadful thought. If I go missing, that is the last piece of CCTV footage they're going to have of me. I deserve to be found in a shallow grave with hair like that. Look at that, that's awful. I've started to go really grey really quickly as well. It's just happened really... It dawned on me the other day. I have now turned slightly too old to die tragically young. There's a cut-off point. You'll hit it, people. You will. I can be a bit of a snob every now and again, and I think if you have snobbery thrust upon you that is done very well, you just have to applaud it for what it is, don't you? I had the most beautiful example of snobbery thrust upon me. It was my friend's birthday. I thought, I'm going to buy a very adult purchase. I went into quite a posh shop on Bond Street. I'd never been in there before. I got a little bit overexcited, started licking all the glass cases. Like, oh, diamonds, they're essential. And I ran upstairs to the glassware department, and I was going to buy my friend 2 champagne flutes, because she likes to drink. And I picked out these 2 champagne flutes, and they were 50 quid, these 2 glasses. That's quite an impressive gift, I thought. I was impressed with my level of adulthood. That's the sort of gift, when you give it to somebody, you don't go, do you like it? You go, £50. So I picked up these 2 glasses, and I put them down in front of the woman who was working in the glassware department. I say woman, I'm using the word rather loosely. She was quite evidently half horse. Fabulously posh, just brilliantly posh. She actually had a cravat on that had sewn into it pictures of bridal wear and all things equestrian, saddles and bits and everything like that. And I put these 2 glasses down in front of her for her to wrap, and it was taking forever. She was struggling with the sellotape on a hoof. And I was feeling a little awkward because I was in this incredibly posh shop. I was feeling a little awkward, and I thought, say something, Zoe, because there was this silence. I don't like a silence. So I said, say something, Zoe, say something, do say something. So I approached the lady, and I said to her, gosh, even the wrapping is beautiful, isn't it? And she simply looked up from her task and went, yes. Yes, it is. We often find that people buy the cheaper items simply for the wrapping. No wonder, I was literally bent over backwards with a shot. I was like a character from The Matrix. I was like, whoa! Yes, that was very good, madam, very good. I just had to come back. I looked her in the eye and went, well, who's wrapping? Who's buying? Actually, it turned out very, very well, because I put 10 quid on her and she won the 2:30 at Cheltenham. So, folks, I've been Zoe. Thank you so much. Good night. Cheers.
You've been listening to 4 Stands Up with me, Chris Addison, Gareth Richards, Dan Antopolski, Zoe Lyons. The producer was Sam Michel.